everyone. How are you in this wonderful day? Let's talk about today's math lesson, shall we? So, for the beginning of today's math lesson, you're not really going to need a paper yet, really. We're just going to do a little bit of review. This is review of yesterday's lesson, which was comparing, because why not? Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of reviewing, then we'll get to the new stuff. So the first thing you should do if you are asked to compare two large numbers is ask yourself the question, do they even have the same amount of digits? If one number has more or less digits than the other, then your job is pretty darn easy, right? A 6-digit number will automatically be greater than a 5-digit number. So that makes your job really, really simple. Okay. The other thing, and this really actually, even though this is comparing greater than less than, this really applies to today's lesson quite a bit. Because in today's lesson, you're going to be given numbers either in expanded form or in word form or something, and you're going to have to change them to standard form. So even though you're not comparing in today's lesson. So the advice I gave you yesterday was, let's say if it's expanded form like this, we know that it's going to be a 6-digit number, okay, because that's the largest chunk over here. These are really sloppy looking lines. So I did 6 lines with a comma in between, and now I'm just going to plug in the spaces. I know a 6 should go in the hundred thousands place. I know a 4 should go in the 10,000s place. There's nothing here in the thousands place or hundreds place, right? There's nothing here. So I'll just put a 0 and a 0. There's a 7 in the tens place, and I don't see any ones, right? So that's my number. Okay, so this is a really good trick or to help you to how to traverse to go from one form to the other. Okay, I'm using my big fancy words here like traverse. And then for this, once we do this, we know that the 6s are the same, so we'll cross both of those out. The 4s are the same, so we'll cross those out. And then we'll compare these two numbers, right? A 0 is less than a 3. Again, you could also use this trick for word form. 8,911. 8,911. Well, I know that it's only going to be up to the thousands place, so I put 4 lines. 8,000. Again, you are not doing this along with me. You're just watching me do it. This is just review. 911, and then I do 911. This right here is unit form, right? It's a unit form where you're just saying how many of each that you have, right? I have 8 10,000s. I have 3 hundreds. So I know that it's going to go to the 10,000s place. Boom, boom, comma, boom, boom, boom. This is the 10,000s place. And I know that I have 8 of them. I know that I have 3 hundreds. And it's not telling me anything else. So I just plug zeros in there. Okay? So hopefully this will help you in today's lesson, even though today's lesson is not comparing. It's actually pretty darn simple, really. It's just, I'm going to give you a number, and you're going to change one of the digits, okay, to either 10,000 more or 10,000 less, or 100,000 more or 100,000 less, or something like that. It's actually really not so bad. For this part, you will need one of these pieces of paper, okay? This is the place value chart that I have already filled in for you up to the millions, and I would like you to have one of these in front of your self right now. Pause the video if you do not have one of these in front of you right now, and then unpause it when you're all set. Okay. So make sure your name is on the top. And again, you can pause this video as many times as you like. Okay? If I say something and you're like, what? Wait a minute, what was he saying? Go back, pause it, go back and watch it again. That's the magic of YouTube. That's what makes it so great. Okay? We're gonna do a little challenge up front first, okay? I am going to show you a number in word form. And I want you to challenge yourself to write it out on this place value chart in standard form. Ready? Here we go. Here's the number. I want you to pause the video and write this number out on your place value chart, and then unpause the video when you have it. Go ahead. Okay, so the number was 560,000, so I'm going to put a 5 in the 100,000 place. 560,000, here's where my comma goes, 313. Now, I want to be clear about this. If you do not have this number, change it. Even if it means getting a new piece of paper, pause it, change it. This is 560,313. That's what this is. Now, what are we going to do with this number? Okay, we are going to take this number and I want 100,000 less. Okay, 100,000 less. So what does that mean? That means we should circle the 100,000s place and make it one less. Mr. Brown, it can't be that simple. Are you seriously telling me it's that simple? Yup. If I want this number but 100,000 left, change that to a 4 and all the other numbers are the same. Yes, you are actually writing everything that I'm writing. Please be aware that a teacher is going to collect this paper with your name on it so that I can take a look at your work, so that I can see that you have been doing what I'm doing. So it really is just that simple, okay? Again, pause the video if you need to make sure that your paper looks like mine before we move on to the next one, okay? All right, now flip your paper over so that you have a nice clean side to work with. And I'm gonna give you another challenge. And this time I'm going to give you a number in unit form. Or actually, I'm sorry, I apologize. That's not unit form. That's expanded form, Mr. Brown. Come on. That's expanded form. It's not unit form. Shame on you. Pause the video when you need to and put this number onto your place value chart in standard form the way we normally see it. Okay, pause the video now. Okay, so I'm assuming you already have this completed. So the number in expanded form was 300,000, so we put a 3 right there. 90,000, so we put a 9 in the 10,000s place. 5,000, so we put a 5 right here. And again, pause the video if I'm going too fast. That's the great thing about this. There is no hundreds, but there was a 40, so we'll put a 4 in the tens place. Well, they didn't give us a 100, so we put a 0 there. They didn't give us a ones, so we'll put a 0 right there. Where does the comma go? 1, 2, 3, comma, right there. All right, now for this one, I would like it to be 10,000 more. 10,000 more. Well, let's circle the 10,000s place. Ooh, now this one gets a little more complicated because if you add a 1, add 1 more to the 9, you get a 10. So it's not just as simple as crossing this out and putting another digit on below. Because this, if you add 1 to this, it's not only going to change this number, it's also going to change that number, okay? Because 10,000 more than 39 10,000s is 40 10,000. So it's actually going to change both of these. That's the tricky thing about the 9, okay? It's actually going to bring this up to a 40. So this is a very different example than the last one. Okay, a very different example than the last one. So this is going to change both of these, not just this one. Everything to the right of it, though, stays the same. So this is going to be a 2-part video, and I'm going to do another part right here. So before you watch the second one, make sure that this one is completely done. you should hold on to this paper while you're doing the next one, and the teacher will collect all of them at the end. Okay? I will see you soon.